Today in this video, I'm going to replace this old faucet with a new faucet. The first step will be to go underneath the sink and shut off the water. And unfortunately on this sink, there are no water shutoffs. So I'm going to need to go down to the basement to find the easiest way to shut the water off to the sink. Alright, here are the two pipes, hot, cold, coming from the sink. I'm just going to follow them back towards the main water shutoff to see if there's any shutoffs. And it doesn't look like there are any shutoffs, so I'm going to have to shut off the main water here. And then I'm just going to shut the in and out off on the hot water tank. And then I'm going to open the faucet here, and then I'm going to need to find the lowest water source in my house, which in my case is the outside faucet. So I just open that up and drain the water out here. Now I'm underneath the sink, and I'm going to disconnect the hot and cold water sources. So make sure you have two wrenches, one to hold the pipe and one to loosen the bolt so that you don't twist the pipe and break it. It would also be wise to have a towel under here with you at this point. Next, I'm going to unscrew these two bluish gray tab-like things that hold down the sink. You should be able to just unscrew them by hand. Alright, there's one, and now the other one. And then a similar procedure on the sprayer hose here. Just unscrew this black thing. Same thing, you can unscrew it by hand. Now come up above the sink, and you could just cut this hose if you're not going to reuse it, but I chose to just disconnect it. There's a little C-clip in here that you need to disconnect, and unfortunately when I disconnected it, I didn't realize I was off camera when I disconnected it, but as you can see, that's what the C-clip looks like. Then just push the hose down under, pull the sprayer connection up, and we should be all free to pull the sink, the old sink, up. Now I'm going to remove the old gasket. If you have an enamel sink or some other type of painted or nice sink that you really don't want to scratch up, just be extra careful where you're going with the putty knife, or better yet, don't even use a putty knife at all and just use some type of microfiber cloth and some cleaning solution. Alright, because this one's a 3-hole, I'm going to use this piece. If you just had one hole, you wouldn't need this piece. These two pieces. Now I'm going to take the next piece with the hoses and feed it down through into the bottom of the sink. On this sink, I wasn't able to get it to balance, so I just kind of temporarily turned it to the back to hold it for me. These are the pieces I'm going to be installing when I go underneath the sink. There is a washer, a bolt, and a plastic protective sleeve that will protect the sprayer hose when you pull it through. First, I'm going to put the washer on this orange piece, and then I'm going to thread the bolt on this orange piece here. once you have the nut threaded on there as far as you can get it by hand, then you can grab this tool with a screwdriver and place it over the orange piece here and grab the nut. This is a special tool designed specifically for this job. This sink came with, this faucet came with this tool, so it definitely made the job easier. Now I'm up above adjusting the handle to the proper position before I do the final tightening up on the nut. And then here's the plastic protective cover that will go on the end of this orange threaded rod. Next, I'm gonna put this intermediate shaft on the part that I've already installed. It just kind of pushes down. Then I'm gonna remove the cap on the protective sprayer here. Here I am connecting the sprayer hose to the sprayer. In this video, I tightened it up way more than you needed to at this point in the process, because you're going to have to disconnect this sprayer head at the end to wash out any crud you might have gotten in the water lines when you were installing the faucet. So don't tighten this up like I did in the video. Now I'm just going to run this sprayer hose through this spring-like object. And then just feed the other end of the sprayer hose down this tube towards the bottom of the sink. Okay, here I am under the sink with the hose that I just pushed down from the top side. Take off this white cover and then feed it into this quick connect white piece here. The trick here is push up until you feel a click and then pull down pretty hard to make sure that it's seated well. Now I'm going to install this weight on the sprayer hose. The purpose of this piece is to just make sure that the sprayer retracts when you let go of it. This piece is intended to be located at the bottom of the loop of the hose, right there in the video. Now it's time to reconnect our hot and cold water supply lines. I'm going to use some Teflon tape before making my connections. If you have connections that are copper on brass like this, then you should definitely use some type of Teflon tape. Pay attention to which side you're connecting to which side. There'll be a hot marker on one of the supply lines to the faucet. This will generally be the left pipe in the bottom of your sink, but you'll want to confirm that with your exact faucet. Now the sink is fully installed, so the only thing left to do is install the supplied soap dispenser with this kit. Here I am just opening up all the pieces. Now I'm inserting this pickup tube into, or trying to anyways, into the correct position. And then we're just gonna put this soap dispenser tube down the fourth hole in the sink here, making sure the white gasket is on the above the sink side. And then we'll just go down under the sink and screw this white nut type thing hand tight on the bottom. And the last step is just put the soap tube into position and screw it in. It's probably smart to fill it with soap, unlike I did in this video, because I had to unscrew it and then fill it with soap off camera. Now I can turn my water supply back on. Before you turn the faucet on, remove the sprayer head, and we just need to clear out the lines and the faucet of any debris that might have either been in here from the factory or gotten in here when we were doing the install, like Teflon tape or whatever. So I just probably run on the hot and then on the cold for a couple seconds each thing. I think the instructions said to do it 15 seconds, but I don't know if I did it quite 15 seconds. Now it's time to reinstall the sprayer head. What I did is I tightened it up by hand, and then I grabbed an adjustable wrench and just carefully held the nut in place, and then just did a quick quarter turn. This is plastic, so I didn't want to over tighten it and crack it. Now just test the faucet out, make sure it works as designed. Thank you very much for watching my video.